I'm going to be working on some more things with Castor. We're just building on other lessons that we've been doing with the flag and lunging and moving off of rope pressure. So I want him to lunge around here, and I'm just going to try and send him off with the flag. So he moves over nicely here, and then I want him to go to my left, and he's just a little confused. He wants to go to my right, and I don't want to put a ton of pressure on him and scare him. I'm just going to kind of set him up for what I want. So I'm just going to say, can you back up? And then go to the left, and there he finds it right there. So I don't want to put a bunch of pressure on him and keep asking because he's just going to get afraid if he keeps going to the right and I'm pulling him to the left. So I just kind of set him up and then asked again. Because you could see here that he's confused. He's like, I don't understand. He doesn't know that I'm using the flag as like a driving tool here, because every other time I've been showing him the flag and he's supposed to target it and touch it and get a food reward. So he's like, he doesn't get it. So like all these videos, when I'm voicing over them, it's been a few years. But right now, I would not do this. I don't want to chase horses. I don't want to make them move away from me. Like, I would have him target the flag and follow it around now. Like, I want him to get used to flags and be habituated to flags, but I don't want him to be afraid of them and being chased around with them. So, but I want to show this as like a learning experience. So, what I was trying to accomplish with this was to have him send out on the circle, and he was actually doing it quite nicely there. He's taking a few steps on the lunging circle while I kind of touch him with the flag and it moves forward and backward toward him. So when he did that, I clicked and fed him there, and the goal is really for him to be moving and see something moving on him to prepare him for being ridden. So I would still do this lesson now. I would just do it with a target. So or if I would do it with, once he already knew how to lunge, like off of voice cues, I'd ask him to go, or I could do it with or around the round pen, and then just bring the flag in and I would click and feed. So I would do it a little bit differently without the driving pressure, but I still would like to do this lesson just in a little bit more gentler way where I'm not scaring him. So I believe I asked him to trot here and then just kind of trot around while I have the flag touching him, and he did really well with that actually. Like, um, he trotted on, he didn't like speed up or jump into it, and he just kind of kept going and wasn't super bothered by the flag. So the beginning stages we had with the flag, we got a little close to the block there, that's all right, was really positive for him because he's not afraid of it. He knows that it means food and stuff. So that can just show you the difference of how you introduce objects to a horse. So he was introduced with this flag as he touches it, he gets food, it doesn't scare him, it doesn't chase him. So when it does start making sound, yeah, it probably makes a little bit of sound, and it starts moving, he's really not that worried about it. So that is important to notice. So I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side and have him send off. And now he's kind of gotten it, like he's not as confused. He's just going into the lunging and letting me kind of toss the flag onto him. So this looks really nice. So click him there while he's doing the behaviors, and then I'll go ahead and feed him. So again, I would definitely change up this lesson for now, like that I would do now, but this is just my progress with Castor and like learning process with him. So hopefully it helps someone else too. So I'm going to do some desensitizing with the rope here, and I was just kind of tossing it on his face and up over his neck, and I want it to go up around, like on over his back and then around his hindquarters. So that is the goal here, but I'm just doing a little bit of desensitizing. You can tell that his head is up, his ears are moving around. He's definitely a little tense about this. So again, I should have broken it down a little bit more. So I clicked him there while I was tossing the rope around him. I should have broken it down more and just like as the rope kind of gets tossed up a little bit toward his face, click and feed that, and then shape it to where I can toss it all the way over him. With the Castor, I kind of got away with a lot because he is so quiet. Again, I'm going to click him here because I've kind of tossed it up over his hindquarters. He's being very good here. So I've got his lead in my right hand, and then with my left hand I can kind of maneuver the rope, and then I'm going to back away, and he got a little confused there. So this is very confusing for him because I'm backing away, and everything else I've done with him, back away means follow me and come to me. So I just dropped the rope there, no big deal. I just didn't want him to run forward toward me, so I'm just going to try it again. But it can be a little confusing. Like, I try to step back a little bit less, maybe have a stick so I can kind of show him not to come toward me, kind of block him a little bit. See, he got a little tight there. That's all right. He kind of moved off of it a little bit, but instead of keeping pulling that would have just scared him. So I'm just going to reset again and try again. I don't want people to think, since I've already had the rope around him, that I just need to pull and like finish the exercise. Like, it's not a big deal. This is his learning phase. So like here, I'm just going to put the lead rope around him and click and feed for it just touching him. You don't have to go all the way through. You need to break it down into all the little pieces. So I would definitely break it down more so than I did here, because I only broke it down once I've already gotten to a little bit, not of trouble, but a little bit of a situation there. See, he's doing well. He figured it out. He's definitely tense. You can tell he didn't want to cross over his feet. He's really stiff. His head and neck is up. He's starting and stopping. So he's definitely tense, and I could have definitely broken it down more for him. But this is just me looking back on it and saying like, okay, this is what I would change. So as a learning tool. So do a little bit more work with him here. So I want to just kind of get him, I wanted to get him situated and then do a little bit of desensitizing because he thought maybe go do some lunging. And I just brought him back, and then we're going to work on this lead rope desensitizing a little bit more. He's pretty good for that. He doesn't really mind having the rope around him. So click and feed him here. And so again, like I get away with a lot with Castor. With Atlas, it forced me to break it down, and it forced me to learn other ways. That he actually did really well with that, and it really switched sides very nicely. But with Atlas, what you'll see is I had to break it down a lot, and it made me learn how to do this in a better way.